Hey, aloha to all of you. It's me, Seashell Surf. Welcome to the beautiful Hawaiian Islands. Today our excursion takes us to HANAPÄPÄ and the salt ponds on the southwest side of Kauai. And then we'll be headed into the interior, Mauka, to Lawaii Valley. Look at where we are today. We are on the west side at the Salt Pond Beach Park, down just past Port Allen. We're in HANAPÄPÄ. Now you see, over there is where we usually are with the salt ponds or the salt pond beds. Today, the salt ponds, the bed area is of course blocked off by tarps, but you can see a beautiful layer of salt that has dried up and become part of the salt making process naturally down there. And we're having some high tide right now in the afternoon. And this is a beach that has a lifeguard that we recommend you come and swim at. And you got a lot of local people that do fishing here, such as shoreline throw netting. And it's just a beautiful shoreline coast. Oh, we have another sunset sail or snorkel tour sailboat going out for the evening from Port Allen. Oh boy, we have seals and turtles that come up through here. At least there's a lifeguard. More exploratory boats during sunset. Come on out, get your snorkel gear, make your reservations way in advance. Always swim at a beach where there is a lifeguard to protect you. Never walk on the turtles' backs or approach seals. Can you believe some tourists did that and stood on the back of turtles and put their video camera lights right in their eyes? At the southern end of the Salt Pond Bay, we've moved down towards the south just a bit, but here in the HANAPÄPÄ Salt Pond Bed Bay area, and you can see that this is a high iron oxide clay we call a lye or a laya. Once the square beds are made and filled with ocean water, they evaporate and create a pink salt that in ancient times and for some people today is used for many medicinal reasons, including drying fish and flavoring food. Now, this salt cannot be sold. It can only be traded or given away. But that's how HANAPÄPÄ became a center of commerce back in the days, ancient days. because it was such an important commodity. Who makes the salt? Well, the salt making process is a tradition that has been passed down for many generations. So there are families that have kuleana, or what we call privileged or responsibility rights down here. And if they invite you to come down and explore or work on the salt beds, you'll be sure to take home a nice gift of salt. But this area needs to be protected. You can see layers of salt that are forming outside of the salt beds here, and we have the beautiful HANAPÄPÄ or HANAPÄPÄ Valley, as it's originally known, which means crushed bay, because guess what? This is where all the landslides are happening. Because the clay does not allow water to be absorbed, it will create a self-perpetuating mechanism of landslides. Once you get a lens of water between the two layers of mud that have fallen on each other. And so obviously we can tell that a lot of landslides took place here down in the HANAPÄPÄ Valley. And many other places around the island are susceptible to the landslides depending on the amount of rain and their landscape. Hanalei is also famous for their landslides. Alaya is also used to dye t-shirts nowadays. We also use it in hula to dye our costumes today, and even in ancient times it was used to dye kapa. If you don't know what tapa is, it is the printed material that I have in the middle of my uli, which is a instrument we use in hula. And you'll see I have the chevron patterns that are made on there from using ohe kapala, which are stamps made out of bamboo, and we make the decorations on there. But kapa is the inner bark of the mulberry tree, also known in the Hawaiian Islands as Wauke. Isn't it beautiful? This is our hula instrument. Yeah. And now let's head up Mauka, where you can find more of the alai, to Lāwa'I Valley. Let's first talk about the definition or the interpretation of the valley's name, Lāwa'I. Now, the place name lacks a definition, first of all. However, it was a village, a land division, a gulch, and a stream of the Koloa district, which we are right next to, and that there was once a fishing shrine, usually a rock that stands up straight, and it's called a ku'ula rock because it stands up straight, on the east side of Lawaii Bay. And in the ruins, just like we saw down at HANAPÄPÄ, there was a bowl-shaped indentation in the rocks. Well, the one down here was resembling the mouth of a fish, and the priest would prepare ava or kava, which is a type of plant that's used for medicinal purposes, but also ceremonial purposes, also known as kava. And they poured it into this bowl in the rocks, the indentation, as an offering to the shark god Tuhai Moana, or Kuhai Moana, which is the 40-fathom shark that lives in the channel of Kaulakahi between Kauai and Ni'ihau. But most people say that when you're on the shore at Ni'ihau and you're You believe you're standing on the reef. If that reef starts to move, you're really standing on the back of Kuhai Moana. And you can see one of the streams, one of the many streams that lead down to the beach area of Lāwa'I Valley. If you have seen some of my other videos of the Spouting Horn area or the Lāwa'I Beach Resort camera, that's the area we're talking about. This water all leads down into the area just a little bit south of there. There's a bay. The National Tropical Botanical Gardens actually is located in the valley by the beach. So you don't want to trespass. All the beaches in Hawaii belong to the state. However, and there really are no private beaches in Hawaii. But the point is that you're not really supposed to sneak through the fences to go down to that beach. This is just an extremely beautiful valley here. Now, this is where, if you've watched in my other videos, I go to the Lawaii market. Now, just across from there is the original pineapple cannery, because this whole area used to depend on the pineapple industry. Now, there were two others on the island, and this was one of the main ones. In modern history, during sugar and pineapple days, it was known as Pine Company for canning pineapple. Of course, the valley goes much further than we're going, but let's get back down the hill. Now, if you make a left-hand turn here, that's going to take you east back to Lihue, the county seat. We're going to make a stop at some grocery stores in Koloa town. And right here is the shell factory. You can pick up some beautiful shell necklaces and lei at the store there. And coming up on the right-hand side of the road is my favorite and everybody's favorite, the Lawaii market. So don't forget to pick up your grab and go or your plate lunch from Lawaii General Store. They've got it all when you need it now. Acai bowls for breakfast. They have breakfast Sammys. They have weekly specials and daily specials. So check them out, folks. Now we're driving by the new Red Barn Hawaii. They have a place in Koloa town, a food truck. They sell hot dogs and baked potatoes. And we're looking out from the south towards the east at the Hau'upu mountain range, also known in English as the Hoary Head Mountains, and on the other side of that is Lihue. All right. And as always, I want to say a big mahalo nui loa to all of you for joining me on this excursion. Until we meet again, this is Seashell Surf reminding you never turn your back on the ocean. And as we say here in the Hawaiian Islands, until we meet again, a hui ho and aloha. The shaka sign is an official gesture for the state of Hawaii. Hawaii is the only state to have an official gesture. So share that shaka and share the aloha. All right.